Hello, beautiful souls. Ruby here. If you are new to this channel, I am a psychic medium, tarot reader, astrologer, and priestess. And today I'm going to be talking about tarot as a tool for alchemy, transformation, and recovery. This is a viewer request. One of you asked me to explain a quote by Magus Curtis Joseph. I am not familiar with his work, but this quote is something that I very much agree with and I'm in alignment with. And the quote is that tarot meditation can be used for alchemical changes in yourself. So one of you asked me to explain, what that quote means. And of course, I cannot claim what Curtis Joseph is saying because I am not familiar with his work, but I think I have a very good idea of what he's saying because this is something that I have come to know to be the truth in my own practice using tarot as a tool. Tarot is not a means for divining the future solely. In fact, I don't think that is its primary use as a tool. I think tarot is a tool for knowing the truth, being faced with the truth. And as we know, the truth will set you free. And so in terms of tarot being used for alchemical changes in yourself, I believe that tarot does that by giving us the most accurate mirror there is for self-knowledge. And let me give you some examples on how that can work, okay? So let's say you're in a relationship and you do a relationship reading. And in fact, I'm gonna use my cards to illustrate this point, okay? So just, calling in a relationship reading that is going to be suited to this lesson on tarot being used for, alchemical changes. Okay. Oh, we got two cards here. Okay. So let's say I'm doing a relationship reading. I want to know what's going on in my relationship, okay? And we're talking about specifically using tarot for healing and for alchemical changes. Okay, so this is the spread that I just got for my relationship. The Hanged Man reversed, the Full Moon card. This is the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot published by Uva Ursi that includes moon phases as well as, all the traditional cards of the tarot. The Page of Swords reversed, the Six of Cups reversed, and then the Seven of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is typically as confronting as is usual for a tarot reading. This is a confronting answer, and tarot is by nature confronting because tarot never lies to us. Tarot tells us the truth. Tarot brings the shadow content up to the surface, the deepest root up to the surface for us to be examined. And that is one of the reasons why we can use it for inner alchemy and transformation, okay? We can't transform something. We can't shift a paradigm that we don't know is there, okay? So in this spread, this is what I am seeing, okay? So in this relationship, and if this resonates for you, if this reading resonates for you, take it as your own. Nothing comes through the channel by accident, okay? So we are being illuminated in this relationship. This relationship is coming into our life to show us a way in which we do not surrender in relationships where we are trying to control. We are controlling our relationship. We are controlling the narrative in our relationship. We are trying to control the outcome in our relationship. We are too attached because we are stuck in an immature way of thinking that came from our childhood. So somewhere in our childhood, our brain, our mental patterning decided that we could not relax and release control in an intimate relationship, that wasn't safe for us, that we had to control, that we had to hold on really tight. What are we controlling? Well, we want this person to be in our fantasy of who we think that we are. We really want to contain and hold them in our fantasy. We think that will create the safety and the security that we need. This person, we're trying to control the outcome, so they'll show up as our fantasy projection Because if we have them as our fantasy projection, we'll feel safe. We'll feel like our security needs are being met. That's not very nice to do to another person, is it? And maybe this person in our relationship, they're not capable of this. And we are, trying to manipulate a situation to be a certain way that it is not, because our fear, our root chakra is really contracted. We've been triggered into this place of being in a relationship from our early childhood where we can't relax and let the other person be who they are. We have to really hold on tight and control the relationship so it can really result in the fantasy we're projecting onto it, because we're depressed, we're not doing our work, we're experiencing a state of, in our own life where we're, instead of doing our own inner work, we're trying to get all of our needs met by projecting them onto this other person. That's a confronting reading, right? But how does that reading result in alchemical changes for yourself? Okay, if I was you, and this was the reading that I got, what I would do is I would draw more cards. Okay, how do I shift this patterning? When was the first time this pattern show up? What is the root of this? Maybe we saw our mom do this to our alcoholic dad. And we learned that that's how we have to be in relationships. We have to hold on really tight and control. Otherwise, the other person just will never show up for us. So maybe this is something we learned from our mom. Maybe this is something from our past life. This is past life karma we're working through, which means it even predates early childhood origin. And early childhood origin often mirrors past life. So you could even ask, okay, what's the earliest origin of this pattern in this lifetime? Is there any patterning around this from a past lifetime that I brought in to work on? And then you can ask the cards. In fact, let's actually ask the cards together. What the best way to transform this pattern or this tendency we have in relationships that's subconscious, that's a route, that's routine for us. This is where our system is going to go if we don't bring consciousness and awareness to it. So that's one of the other reasons why tarot is so powerful as a tool for transformation, inner healing, inner work, inner growth, alchemical changes. Because it shows us what our routine, habitual patterning is. It shows us what the root of it is. And then from there, it can show us where the shift can take place, where the paradigm can take place. So it's like this only works if we do the work. If we put all the work on our cards and we don't bring consciousness and awareness to the truth that the cards are presenting to us and mirroring for us, reflecting to us, we won't change. That's why spiritual bypassing does not work in the tarot system. You cannot actually be a student of the tarot and bypass. That's why you don't see a lot of good tarot readers and like bypassy Boulder, I live in Colorado, spiritual communities, because they're not actually integrating and embodying the shadow work. This is the hardest, most rewarding, gritty, magical work that we do. This is actually what a spiritual practice is uprooting the unconscious patterns we inherited from our ancestry, our society, our past lives, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we integrate ourselves into a state of wholeness and power. That's really being in alignment with our higher self and our inner divinity. Super powerful work. This is the work that's so transformative. We become so powerful. We become so strong, so magical if we continually do this work of inner alchemy. Because then none of our patterns are controlling us. We, and our connection to our higher self, makes all the decisions in our life. I hope that makes sense. I just went on a little bit of a tangent, but I'm really passionate about this work. Okay. So, in the context of this reading that we are doing, how can we shift this patterning around the urge to control in our relationships so that our desires in the relationship will come true? How can we shift this patterning for ourselves? All right, and then I am going to actually draw a clarifier from Oracle here. This is the Angels, Gods, and Goddesses Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno. Can I get a clarifier for this? Okay, and we have Goddess of the Unknown. Okay, so this is so funny. This is the card I drew for myself this morning. A new chapter of your life is around the corner. Remove fear and embrace the unknown. So the root of this really is in fear. The root of this pattern is in fear. We are actually afraid to just let the relationship be what it needs to be. If we just let it be, we don't trust life. We don't trust life to bring us the relationships that we're going to bring, okay? And then here I drew the 4 of Swords reversed, the 10 of Wands reversed, the 8 of Wands reversed, the King of Wands, and Temperance reversed. And this is what I'm hearing from this, okay? That we have this fear around releasing control in relationship, because if we just rest, then maybe the outcome that we're desiring isn't going to come as fast as we'd like it to go. I know that in one of my past relationships, or one of my past relationship habits, I should say, that showed up in a past relationship, is I want to get to the part where we're committed to each other really fast, because then that feels safe to me, because I know how that goes. In the realm of just getting to know each other, that feels really scary for me, because I don't really know what to expect, you know? And so there's a tendency to move too fast. So in this fear of releasing control in relationship, they're saying, you know, one of the ways that we can move through this is to look at the ways in which we can't really rest and relax. And so we move too fast. We want everything right away, so we move too fast. So, you know, we're being asked to slow down, relax into the relationship, work on our fear around, you know, the unknown, and to practice surrender, right? Because the way that we are moving too fast and trying to control things, it's coming from a place of not feeling like we're actually worthy of getting what we want naturally. We're not trusting life naturally. That if we just show up as ourselves, that everything will come in and play out in its own time, the way that it's supposed to. Does that make sense? Okay, so we're taking the reins because there's this fear that if we just let something naturally unfold, it's going to play out from an old way of the past that really hurt us, that caused some imbalance in us, okay? But healing is ready to occur in this. So now we know our work. Our work is, you know, in the relationship that we're in, or the next relationship that we enter, to be aware that we have a fear of not knowing how something is going to play out, and that usually manifests in us trying to overly control the outcome of the relationship. And so if we can just rest and chill out and be comfortable in the state of not knowing this, if we can find our peace in the present moment, if we can detach from the outcome and stay connected to our truth, then we don't have to take the reins and move something in a direction. And that's actually going to just bring us the same old stuff that we've been, you know, trying to avoid, and yet we keep finding ourselves in. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that this makes sense. So how we use tarot for alchemical changes in ourselves is we let tarot confront us with the actual truth in every and any situation, because the truth will set us free. And then by integrating that truth, by not bypassing that truth, but by integrating it and asking the tarot and asking our guidance how we can shift those paradigms and shift that patterning, and show up more consciously, we actually transform. We don't stay the way that we were at the beginning of our tarot practice. And I cannot tell you how much I grow through my work as a tarot practitioner. I don't recognize myself from the person I was 3 months ago, and that is constant for me. I am really special in that I have so much to heal and transform. And I think a lot of us on the spiritual journey are. Like, I don't think I'm the only person like that. But it's like I came to this work with a lot of stuff to shift. And I was in traditional therapy for 10 years. And talk therapy does not work for me. I'm really self-aware in a way that I think Moon-Mercury conjunction can actually not be beneficial for me. Or it's like I'm self-aware in a certain way, but it's not actual self-awareness. It's self-knowledge, or it's self-criticism, or it's self-rumination, but it's not actually the deepest awareness possible. And so, this work actually helps me see the truth in a way that can be, so uncomfortable. Like, sometimes I come to tarot and I really don't like what tarot is telling me. It's the truth that I'm avoiding. It's the thing about myself I feel a lot of shame about. And that's the thing with tarot, is that for this to actually work, for the alchemical changes to be made, you have to release your shame. You have to release the fear around shame, because tarot is objective. Tarot is not shaming you. You are projecting your own shame onto what the cards are saying. The cards are neutral, right? The cards just tell you the truth, unbiased, because that is their job. The cards are the arbiter of truth. And so, if we do, I'm one of these people, have tendencies to carry a lot of shame around our patterns. Maybe some of the first alchemical inner transformation recovery work that we do is around asking the cards, how can I work with you and release my shame? How is shame keeping me from releasing patterning that no longer serves me and no longer serves my highest self and my journey? This is why I also believe that tarot is one of the most transformative and powerful tools for recovery that there is. If you're recovering from an addiction or codependency, or certain ways of being from, a traumatic childhood, a core tenet in recovery is accountability. And to me, tarot is the greatest tool there is for accountability, because you cannot lie to your cards. You cannot hide from your cards. Okay, you can lie and hide to everybody else, your partner, your therapist, your doctor, your friends, but you cannot lie to your cards. Your cards will see you. And so there's been times where I've been drawing on something that I really wanted, in the last relationship I was in, all the time. I'm drawing, the devil, the Seven of Swords, the Tower. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And then I'm noticing there's certain areas of my life where I don't want to see the truth. And anywhere that I don't want to see the truth is where I'm in old patterning, where I'm in a distortion. And I can choose if I want to be accountable to that, or if I want to hide from that and save that for later. So I hope that makes sense. I know that this is a little more esoteric, and I am happy to continue to break this down for you if you need more explanation. In terms of the quote, I do think that tarot can also be used to create alchemical changes by just meditating with the card. So, Temperance right? Like, I will do meditations where I will bring the card to my altar and I will just look at the card in temperance. I'll just like really draw in temperance, and then I'll close my eyes and then just drawing in the archetype of temperance. Because as I talk about in my video, tarot is a living system. This is not just an image. This is not just a concept. This is a living, breathing stream of consciousness that evolves. And you can bring in the energy and the medicine of temperance into your field, and you can commune with it the way you would commune with a deity or a plant spirit or your own higher self, a planet. And through that process of making direct contact, having a transmission from the card, there's also alchemical changes that can occur. Because when we're talking about an alchemical change, we're talking about your inner system actually transforming and evolving and upgrading. And some of the lower habitual patterns and forms that you carry that result in you being, imprisoned and in states of helplessness and states of victimization and states of just being, trapped in an unconscious habit, addiction, routine, way of, being in relationship. It's like those things are unrooted, transmuted, risen up, seen clearly, and then moved through into a higher form of awareness or state of being. And this is like not something we do once. This is kind of the constant of our spiritual work as transformation, cycles of death and rebirth. We don't stay in one state of evolution once we've done healing work and that's it. There's always more, deeper to go, deeper to be moved into states of like liberation. So I think I'll leave it there, but this is something I would love to keep talking about if it's interesting to you. And many of you mentioned in the last video I made on tarot, called Tarot is a Living System, that you would like me to start talking about individual cards in terms of their energies as multivalent, multidimensional beings and streams of consciousness. I'm thinking that's something that would be best suited for the Patreon. And so if you are one of the viewers who requested this, if you join the Patreon and you leave me a message letting me know what card specifically or what cards you would like me to talk about, we can bring that there. I might do that, here in this space too in the future. But that's feeling like something that wants to come through on the Patreon. So if that's, if you are one of those viewers and there is a card that you do want me to talk about in terms of the multivalence, the multidimensionality of the energy, leave a message for me in the Patreon space. I will leave the link in the bio here to join. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the Patreon. Thank you to everyone who purchases readings. The more you do that, the more I can show up and give free content. It's like really such a beautiful support. And so just thank you to everyone who contributes to my ability to give the work for free. You are so appreciated. You are so loved, and I'm so grateful that I can show up in this space of spiritual service, and offer this to you all. And as always, I am sending you love, and I'm wishing you well.